How would you feel when just right at birth you are being rejected by your own father due to your skin color? When has color ever been the problem? This is the story of Kachi, the albino. In the heart of the vast Ochioma forest, where the trees whispered secrets older than time itself, and the rivers flowed with ancient wisdom, a storm was brewing. But this was no ordinary storm. The winds howled with rage, the sky burned with the anger of forgotten ancestors, and the earth trembled as if disturbed by some ancient curse. In the distance, amidst the thunderclaps and the flash of lightning, a wail pierced the night. A sound so haunting, so filled with sorrow, that it chilled even the bravest of warriors to their bones. It was the cry of a newborn. But not just any child. In the dim light of a flickering oil lamp, under the roof of a small hut, on the outskirts of Umukpara village, a mother held a newborn daughter to her chest. The baby's skin gleamed pale and ghostly under the moonlight that slipped through the cracks in the thatched roof. Her eyes were reflecting a strange ethereal glow. Her name was Kachi. Born under the full moon, her appearance sent shockwaves through the village. Her father, Okeke, stood frozen in the corner, eyes wild with disbelief and horror. He was a warrior, a man whose hands had felt the blood of enemies and whose heart was hardened by battle. Yet nothing had prepared him for this. What? What kind of child is this? He muttered, his voice shaking as if he had seen a spirit. This is no daughter of mine. The gods have cursed us. The midwife, who had seen countless births in her time, stared at the baby with a mix of awe and fear. She is different, she whispered, but not cursed. She is touched by the gods, blessed by the moon. But Okeke would not hear it. No child of mine will bear the mark of a curse, he declared, his voice raising in fury. He turned to his wife, Amara, who cradled Kachi protectively, her eyes brimming with tears. Take her away, Okeke growled. I will not have this abomination in my house. Amara's heart shattered into pieces, but she knew better than to argue. In the village of Umukpara, the word of a father was law, and so, with nothing but a cloth to wrap her baby in, Amara fled into the night, the cries of her newborn daughter mingling with the wind and the distant rumble of thunder. The storm, it seemed, had only just begun. The village of Umukpara had always been a place of rigid tradition and unwavering beliefs. The people followed the ancient ways handed down by their ancestors, and anything that strayed from the norm was treated with suspicion. Albinos were rare, and when they were born, many believed they were omens, either of great misfortune or untold blessings. But for Okeke, there was no question. His daughter's pale skin was a sign of disgrace. Amara had hoped to find solace in the nearby village of Umuaku, where her sister lived. But the whispers of Kachi's birth had already spread, and when they arrived at her sister's hut, they were met with closed doors and cold stares. No one would take you in, her sister said, her voice laced with fear. The village elders are saying the child is a curse. You must leave before they come for you. Amara's heart ached, but she knew her sister was right. She had nowhere to go. The forest was their only refuge. For the next few years, Amara and Kachi lived on the outskirts of the forest, surviving on wild fruits and the kindness of travelers. Kachi grew into a curious and strong-willed child. Her pale skin, shimmering like the moonlight she was born under. But as she grew older, so did the rumors about her. The villagers whispered that she could speak to spirits, that she had powers no one could understand. Some said that the animals of the forest obeyed her commands, while others believed she could see into the future. But the most frightening rumor of all was that Kachi was a witch, and that her very presence brought misfortune to anyone who crossed her path. Kachi, however, was unaware of the extent of the villagers' fear. She had never known the warmth of community or the embrace of friendship. All she had ever known was her mother's love and the vast untamed wilderness of the forest. The animals were her only companions and the spirits her shelter. But as the years passed, Kachi began to feel the weight of her isolation. She longed to understand why she was different, why her father had abandoned her, and why the villagers feared her. She often asked her mother about her father, but Amara would only tell her that he was a man bound by tradition and fear. Then one fateful night, as Kachi lay under the stars, a strange voice echoed through the trees. It was soft and melodic, yet it seemed to carry with it the weight of centuries. "You are more than what they fear, Kachi," the voice whispered. "You are the moon's daughter. Your destiny is far greater than you know." Startled, Kachi sat up, her heart racing. "Who is there?" she called into the darkness. But there was no reply. That night, Kachi couldn't sleep. The voice had stirred something deep within her, a sense of purpose, a feeling that her life was meant for more than mere survival. She knew she had to uncover the truth about her birth and the strange power she felt coursing through her veins. The next morning, Kachi told her mother about the voice, but Amara only looked at her with sad eyes. "There are forces in this world we cannot understand, my child," she said, "but the world is not kind to those who are different. You must be careful." But Kachi was determined. She could no longer remain hidden in the shadows, an outcast rejected by the very people who should have protected her. She needed answers, and to get them, she would have to face the village that had cast her out, with nothing but her courage and the strange power growing inside her. Kachi set off toward Umupara, knowing that the journey ahead would be fraught with danger. Little did she know, the village was already preparing for her return, for there were those who feared her, and others who sought to use her power for their own dark purposes. And so began the epic tale of Kachi, the albino child, rejected by her father, but destined for greatness. A journey filled with betrayal, mystery, and the discovery of a power older than the village itself. A power that could either save her people or doom them all. The storm, after all, was only just beginning.